order at 7:09. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bernard. Here. Councilmember Mendoza. Here. Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Tucker.
Here.
Mayor Amparano.
Here.
And Councilmember Obispo Martinez is absent for the record.
Thank you very much. With that, let's please stand for the pledge of allegiance. And Mr. Tucker, join us.
Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much for that. Mr. Morito, do we have any adjustments to the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we would ask that we defer discussion and action on item C5 having to do with the capital improvement budget for a future meeting.
Okay, thank you. We'll make a note of that. All right, how about our city attorney? Any report on closed session?
Yes, thank you. The council discussed public employee performance of the city attorney and direction was given. The council discussed one item of anticipated litigation as listed on the agenda. Direction was given to council. The council also discussed one item of anticipated litigation under D2 and direction was given to council. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much for that. And with that, we'll move on to public comments, and there is a time limit of 3 minutes for anyone wishing to address the city council on these matters. And so we'll start with matters not appearing on the agenda. If you wish to address the city council concerning any item within the city council's jurisdiction, please raise your hand, be acknowledged by the mayor. At that time, state your name and address for the record. The mayor reserves the right to place a time limit of 3 minutes on each person's presentation. It is requested that longer presentations be submitted to the city clerk's office in writing 48 hours before the meeting. And at this time, I do have one public comment from Mr. Alan Phillips from Ivy Fairgrounds.
Thank you, Mayor Amparano. Fair is quickly approaching. This year, our theme for the 2025 fair is a play on words of Mardi Gras, so it's going to be called Valley Gras. And what we want to do is really try to celebrate all of the communities and give opportunities for the communities to be a part of the fair, which is, one of the largest community events that we have here in the Imperial County. Excuse me. One of the ways that we're going to do this is through a program or a project that we started last year, which we've dubbed our art cows. So we have some fiberglass cows that were painted last year. Last year being our first year, we just kind of handpicked the organizations that we chose to paint the cows. And so on the flyer that you have there are some examples from the ones that were painted last year. And so this year, with it being Valley Gras, what we're trying to do is invite the cities and some of the municipalities of our community to paint one of our cows. So if you guys are interested, what we'd like to do, you guys can just let me know. We'll drop it off. You guys paint it, that embraces the city of Imperial and some of the things that makes the city of Imperial a unique community. And we'll pick it up and it'll be displayed at the fairgrounds throughout the fair. And then we continue to keep that through the rest of the year and some of the other events that we do throughout the year, they will be displayed as well.
That sounds like a great idea. Definitely look forward to that. And I think staff, we can come up with some good ideas on that. So appreciate it.
No problem. Thank
you
you
very much. Do we have any other public comments at this time? Going once, twice. All right, no sale. Did we get any public comments via email?
No, via
All right.
email.
Thank you very much for that. So with that, we'll move on to our presentations. So I'm going to move the presentations around a little bit, but we will start with our International Credit Union Days. And so I have proclamation here for International Credit Union Day. And so what we're going to do is I'll read out the proclamation. Once we're done, we'll go up here under the emblem, take a picture with the different agencies. So International Credit Unions Days. International Credit Union Day celebrates the spirit of global credit union movement, and more than 82,000 credit unions and other cooperative financial institutions bring financial inclusion and promising future to more than 403 million members worldwide. And whereas International Credit Day has been celebrated on the third Thursday of October since 1948, and this year the theme is One World Through Cooperative Finance, emphasizing the unity of cooperative spirit of credit unions worldwide. And whereas credit unions have demonstrated their ability to improve the well-being of individuals, families, and communities and businesses by providing affordable financial services and promoting financial literacy. And whereas the City of Imperial recognizes the valuable role that credit unions play in the financial lives of the residents and the community. Now therefore, I, the Mayor, Robert Amparano, on behalf of the City of Imperial City Council, do hereby proclaim October 17, 2024 as International Credit Union Day in the City of Imperial, passed and adopted on this second day of October 2024 at the regular meeting of Imperial City Council. So thank you guys very much for being in our city. We really appreciate that. So with that, we'll go down here in front and we take a picture. And unless you guys want to come up and say a few words, mic is open. We can do that too, and then we can go. Oh, come on.
You always call him.
Thank you for the proclamation. We truly appreciate it. Credit unions are, I'm not going to go too far, but credit unions are truly unique because nobody knows, but we're really not-for-profit corporations. So we're more about serving the members and providing services for our members, our clients, rather than the big bank, right, which is really focused on profit. So we truly appreciate the city doing that for us. So, and we love being here, you know, in the city too. So thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you. We'll go down.
Check the screen. Check the screen. Did I correct it or no? Yeah, Cadence is on. No, your seat number 5. Hold on. Don't worry. Hi, my name is Billy Cardenas, and I'm with Sun Community here on behalf of Esmeralda, who many of you know is the branch manager at our local branch. So we're actually celebrating International Credit Union in style with all of you, hopefully, because we're having our grand opening officially for our new location on that day. So from 5:30 to 7:30, 2 weeks from today, we'd love to have everyone in this room. And like our partners at FICU mentioned, we are just so much more about the community and really grassroots efforts to help people in financial education and beyond. So we look forward to seeing all of you in a couple weeks. Free food, raffles, all the good stuff.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Shady, or is your name right? Yes.
Okay, moving on. Let me turn this down. So moving on, we'll move on to our next proclamation for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So the City of Imperial Proclamation for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, it says, whereas the crime of family violence violates the individual's privacy and dignity, security, and humanity due to a systemic use of physical, emotional, and sexual psychology and economic control, and including abuse to children and the elderly. And whereas the problem of family violence are not confined to a group of people, but across all economic, racial, and social barriers, and are supported by social indifferences. And whereas the impact of family violence is wide-ranging, directly affecting individuals and society as a whole. Whereas the Imperial City Council recognizes the important work done by family violence advocates and programs in Imperial County and urges all citizens to actively participate in scheduled activities and programs that aid in improving victim safety and holding perpetrators of family abuse accountable for their actions. Now, therefore, I, the Mayor, Robert Amparano, on behalf of the Imperial City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2024 as Violence Awareness Month in the city of Imperial, passed and adopted on the second day of October 2024 at a regular meeting of Imperial City Council. So thank you guys very much for being here. Once again, mic is open if you guys would like to say a few words. If not, we can go down front under the emblem and take a picture.
Hello, Mayor Amparano and council members. Thank you for having us here. My name is Christian Gamble. I'm the outreach specialist from Women Haven, and we want to thank you for your support and joining us in this proclamation. This year's Domestic Violence Awareness Month theme is Everyone Knows Someone. And unfortunately, we do know someone here, whether it's your family member, coworker, friend, neighbor, anyone that is going through the situation. And that's why we have to gather together and take a step to end domestic violence in our community. We have a variety of services, and we want to promote that here, not just in the city of Imperial, but all the cities in Imperial County. So thank you very much for having us. And we left a goodie bag with you guys that have a variety of incentives and also a calendar. We're going to have our Remember My Name memorial with also Amber Bryant, which is one of the past recipients, or also one of those that have passed away due to domestic violence. And we want to gain awareness for that, so everyone can join us on that day on Johnny Burritos in all locations, Imperial, El Centro, and Brawley, to gain awareness and to support the cause. And with me, I have Verna Wright, that is one of our survivors and also recipients for our Mariposa Gala, and also Judy Klein-Pritchard, our Director of Legal Services.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. As a domestic violence survivor, primarily was first my ex-husband, who I thought I was supposed to stay with, because secondarily, I was raised in a domestic violent home where it was everyday wear and tear of listening to what was going on or seeing what was going on and not knowing that I was supposed to do something. Our children in the Imperial County at every school site have that same problem, and my vision is one day to stop it there, to get some kind of curriculum throughout the Imperial County for our children to know that these are the signs and that they have a voice, because domestic violence thrives in silence and we want to end it.
What Verna said. Really, what Verna said. Verna and I have known each other for a very long time now. I've been with Woman Haven for 35 years, and I have seen the children of victims, and hopefully now survivors, grow up and come to us and say, "Oh my gosh, Judy, you still work here? Do you remember my mom?" It breaks my heart. We need to start with the children. But on a better note, I want to thank the first responders and the police department for their constant backing up and being there for our clients. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll meet you down here. I'm going to get my steps in today. Next I'm going to move them up from A5. We're going to move them up to the third position. So we're going to have proclamation presentation for National Planning Month. And we do have our planning commissioners here. So really appreciate you making time out of your busy schedule to be here for this. So with that, your proclamation in the City of Imperial Proclamation, National Community Planning Month. Whereas planners work to improve the well-being of all people living in our communities by taking a comprehensive perspective, leading to safer, resilient, and more equitable and more prosperous communities. And whereas planners assist in navigating change with data-driven insights and expertise, offering improved options for how individuals work and live. And whereas the community planning provides the opportunity for all residents to be meaningful, involved in making choices that determine the future of the community. And whereas the full benefits of planning require public elected and appointed officials who understand, support, and demand excellence in planning and planned implementations. And whereas the City of Imperial City Council acknowledges Planning Month as an opportunity to emphasize the essential roles of planning in every community. Now therefore, I, the Mayor, Robert Amparano, on behalf of the Imperial City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2024 as National Community Planning Month in the City of Imperial, passed and adopted on the second day of October 2024 at a regular meeting of the Imperial City Council. So thank you guys very much for all you do for our community. So with that, mic is open if you guys like, or you guys want to take a picture. I know I see a couple of you down here.
I just want to take a picture.
You just want to take a picture? All right. You do this too often, right?
You're doing great. You're doing great.
You know, good thing they don't ask me to memorize these. So with that, we'll move on to our fourth one, which is National Fire Prevention Week. We're gonna move that one to the end. No, I'm just kidding. You guys all excited, huh? With that, we'll move on to the City of Imperial Proclamation for National Fire Prevention Week. It says, whereas the City of Imperial is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all of those living in and visiting our city. Yay. Whereas the National Fire Prevention Protection Association and FPA has announced the theme for Fire Prevention Week 2024 as smoke alarms. Make them work for you, emphasizing the importance of having functioning smoke alarms in every home. And whereas data shows that most home fire deaths in the U.S. still occur in residents lacking smoke alarms or with non-functional ones. And whereas residents are encouraged to take personal steps to increase their safety from fire, especially in their homes, by ensuring they have working smoke alarms and practicing fire escape plans. And whereas the Imperial City Council expresses gratitude to the Imperial County Fire Department and all its first responders for their dedication to reducing home fires and home-related injuries, fire-related injuries through prevention and protection education. Now, therefore, I, the Mayor, Robert Amparano, on behalf of the Imperial City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of October 6th through the 12th as Fire Prevention Week in the City of Imperial, passed and adopted on the second day of October 2024 at a regular meeting of the Imperial City Council. So thank you very much. Mic's open, Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. So I want to emphasize the smoke alarm piece. They're vitally important. Make sure they're working. Make sure you have one in each bedroom, in your hallways, every level of your home. Residential fires are the #1 killer of in fire deaths. We don't have people die so much in commercial because they usually operate during the day. There's fire protection systems in them. The alarm systems are highly regulated, so they have to work. Well, in our homes are our homes. So it's up to us as individuals to take that personal responsibility to check your alarms and make sure they're functional. A good time to do it is when we change the time on our clocks, okay? So when we spring forward and fall back, that's your indication to check your smoke alarm. And enjoy the hats.
I just
Sparky wanted to speak, but he mumbles too much.
Does he?
Yeah.
Hope that looks pretty good.
So does that mean That we don't just change the batteries when it beeps.
If you, so I'm glad you asked about the battery, because the new ones are 10-year, they come with a
Yeah.
10-year battery. So when they start going out, you replace the whole thing, the battery and the smoke detector. The older ones probably should be replaced, but they have a battery in them that
Yeah.
you would switch out. But if you have one of those, it's a good indication that it's time to switch out for a new one.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
And smoke alarms going off when you're cooking, and just a reminder that they work, right?
They see you're burning something.
All right, we'll go downstairs.
He doesn't hear well either. It's all the siren.
I just want to use the Proby.
I gave my lot to Kristen, so I feel like she would love that. Anything safety?
Loud and proud. I love that you adopted it.
I can wear it for those of you.
Put it right here.
He's got a lot of hair to mess up.
I know. It took me a little while to comb my hair today. Okay, with that, another proclamation today for Code Enforcement Month. All right. So with that, we're going to move on to the Imperial City Proclamation for Code Enforcement Appreciation Month. It says, whereas code enforcement officers provide the safety and welfare of our community through the enforcement of local codes and ordinances, and whereas these dedicated professionals often have the challenging and demanding role and often do not receive recognition for improving living and working conditions for residents and businesses of local communities, and whereas code enforcement officers are dedicated and highly qualified professionals who share the goals of enhancing and ensuring safety and preserving property values through their knowledge and enforcing housing zones and nuisance codes. Whereas the Imperial City Council wishes to recognize and honor code enforcement officers and professionals nationwide and raise awareness of the importance of their roles within our communities. Now, therefore, I, the Mayor Robert Amparano, on behalf of the Imperial City Council, do hereby proclaim October 2024 as Code Enforcement Appreciation Month in the City of Imperial, passed and adopted on the second day of October 2024 at a regular meeting of the Imperial City Council. Thank you guys very much for all your hard work. We really appreciate that. So, you have anybody?
David's not here, I'll take it for it.
Okay. See, it's all wearing down. With that, let me see, we have code enforcement. And then we're gonna move on to A6, the automatic aid presentation by Imperial County Fire Chief David Lancer. Awesome.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. Again, before I get started, I want to recognize a couple visitors, the Fire Chief from City of El Centro, Joe Bernal, and one of his battalion chiefs, Andrew Miller, sitting back there with our folks.
Welcome, Chiefs.
And I introduce them because they're a part of this automatic aid discussion that we're talking about. The other person I'd like to mention, he's not here because he's in North Carolina as part of the response to the hurricane, is Brandon Walls. He's the supervisor for American Medical Response, AMR, our ambulance service provider. He would be here, but again, he is busy in North Carolina. So with that, is it up? So I'm going to talk about automatic aid. This is a new concept in the Valley. It's used widespread throughout the country. but we've gotten together and we're trying to improve outcomes ultimately. And so us, City of El Centro, and AMR, got together and, flushed out, an agreement, in draft form right now, that we will, next month want to bring to you for approval, for the city of Imperial. Now, what is automatic aid? Automatic aid is assistance that's dispatched, well, automatically, by a contractual agreement between fire departments, communities, districts, or other response entities. So, for example, this is between the fire departments, the community of Imperial, and AMR is an emergency response entity. This agreement, at the 30,000 foot level, and these three letters that I use IMP, ECN. These are our three-letter designations the state gives us to the fire department. So I'll say what it is, but I just use that just for space purposes. But what this agreement in essence does, and when we let me take just a tiny step back. When we look at the agreement, we're talking mostly about residential or commercial structure fires. That's our starting point, is how can we help each other? We have too many foundations that are sitting around in our towns and our cities and out in the county because we burn stuff all the way down to the ground because we're under-resourced, all right? There's no secret the fire service in Imperial Valley is under-resourced. I've worked in 4 different counties. This is by far the most under-resourced county area that I've worked in Southern California. So we got together with the idea, how can we get resources faster at these fires, right? The faster we get our resources there, the faster we get water in a fire, the faster we do all the other tasks that we have, and the less time ultimately that our units are committed on these incidents. So in looking at this, broadly, county fire commits an engine or a truck to El Centro for their fires. El Centro commits 1 engine or truck to county fire or the city of Imperial, and the city of Imperial. City of Imperial commits 1 engine or truck to El Centro or county fire for their residential or commercial fires. I have an asterisk there. We're working on in the plan that there will be a move up of units to make sure Imperial stays covered. And that would be Sealy moving over, Ocotillo moving up into Sealy. We have a mutual aid agreement with CAL FIRE San Diego. They would assist us on the west end until our units are able to reposition themselves. And then finally, AMR commits 1 ambulance and an EMS supervisor to all 3 of us entities, County Fire, the City of Imperial, and El Centro Fire. Now, you're probably familiar with mutual aid. You probably heard the term mutual aid a lot. That's what we have in place now. Mutual aid is assistance that's dispatched upon request of another fire department. It's not dispatched automatically at the time of the call, and I'll show you in a little bit how what the difference is in that. It is requested upon arrival at the scene following size up. So we have to wait till our first unit gets there. They size up, say, "Oh, we got a fire, right? We need more help." We request more help through dispatch. Mutual aid also includes a written, signed contractual agreement, just like automatic aid does. So why automatic aid? Question, how many firefighters does it take to efficiently mitigate a structure fire? Anyone want to guess?
Minimum 4.
4, okay.
Minimum.
Anyone else?
I'd say closer to 8.
8, okay. So 4 and 8. Oh, you're cheating. There's always one. All right. So there is a national standard. It's called NFPA 1710. That's National Fire Protection Association. And they have a standard in place that's backed by research, years and years of research, time trials, time to task, outcomes, all those things. They have that in this standard, what they recommend. These are recommendations. There's national standards, but they're recommendations unless you adopt them, which we're not adopting it. We're just referencing it as a resource. So that's one resource. I'll get to the number here in a minute, but another item we look at to determine that number is critical tasking. we go through and we say, okay, what tasks do we need to do to mitigate this fire? And then how many people does it take for each task, right? So we go down the list. From that list, we develop what we call an effective response force. That number, whether it's 8 or 4, that's your effective response force. Okay, that's what typically would be what we would call a full alarm or first alarm assignment. We look at unit and personnel commitment times. One of the things I mentioned earlier is the more that these fires go on, the longer the duration of the call, because you're having more damage. It's going to take more work to clean it up, more work to put it out. And so our commitment times are longer. So again, it goes back to what I was saying before, that we can concentrate resources on these incidents sooner. The hope is that we'll get to them sooner, be able to do these tasks simultaneously rather than one after another, which is what we have to do now because we have limited personnel. We look at, when we talk about how many firefighters we need, and why we're looking at automatic aid is, ultimately it comes down to, life, right? We want to protect life. We want to protect property. That's part of our mission statements. Total response time, I want to touch on this briefly. There are 3 components we look at total response time, right? Alarm handling, that is from the time that the dispatcher answers the phone to the time that she presses a button and we are dispatched out to the call. Turnout time is the time that the station receives the tone out to the time that wheels are rolling to the incident. And travel time is wheels rolling to the incident to the time that they arrive in front of the scene. All that together is total response time. That's the clock ticking is what we're trying to meet. So based on our preliminary critical tasking, and this is consistent with what I see from departments, actually it's less than a lot of departments who can do it, but this would be our critical tasking. This is how many we need on a residential structure fire, 16, to initially fight that fire. So yeah, a little bit more than 4 and 8. But all those tasks are important. They need to be carried out. And in order to do so efficiently, we need to assemble a significant effective response force.
How many fire engines would be 16? Would that be 4?
So that would be 5 fire units because we're 3 staffed.
Okay.
Yeah, El Centro and County Fire and the city engine are all staffed 3. Now, this agreement may not get us to that number in all cases, right? But we're going to try. We're going to try because we've done this analysis. We've determined that these are the tasks that need to be done. Our folks do this regularly. So this list is what we do for every structure fire, every residential structure fire. But we want to get closer, right? We want to get more resources there. So we're gonna take a little step forward in trying to get there. All right, short video is time lapse, so you don't have to listen or see the whole thing. And I'll kind of explain what you're seeing here. So essentially what they're going to put up our grandparents' living room and our living room today and compare them because they are different. The fuel load is different.
A lot of bourbon.
They're made out of different things. Okay, so the natural is on the left. The synthetic, what we are used to today, is on the right. Fire started at the same time. So far, so good. Now you got a bunch of black smoke. Why do we have black smoke on the right?
Synthetics.
Synthetic, a lot of petroleum-based products. That black smoke is full of carbon. That's why it's black. Look at the curtains, if you can see, they melt and drop. Where the curtains on the right, they burn. It's different. And the melting curtains, they drop down and they light more stuff on fire because they're smoldering.
Oh dear.
Okay, flashover is a term we use that means everything within that, as you can see, has caught fire. It has reached everything has reached its ignition temperature, where everything ignites. And I don't know if you caught it, but there was part of that couch was not involved, and when it hit flashover, the fire leapt from the cushions because it's off-gassing, right? And then when it hits that temperature, all that gas just ignites into flame, and then that's what you get with flashover. You'll see that grandma's fire is still going. Those are the times that they came up with on their different tests that they did. You can see obviously that our contemporary living rooms and furnishings burn much faster in all cases. So we're looking at 4 to 5 minutes till flashover. Why do we emphasize flashover? Because at flashover, no one survives. Okay, even a firefighter in full structure gear, if he's lucky to get out quickly, he may survive, but he's going to be severely burned, even with all his equipment on. So we try to beat that, but we're not going to beat 5 minutes. It's just not going to happen. But goes back to the smoke detector we talked about earlier. You saw the smoke, right? So the detectors can alert the occupants so they can get out. Oops. Turn it around and go the other way. All right, so real quick, the difference between mutual aid and automatic aid in relationship to response time. So remember I told you about total response time, alarm handling, turnout time, travel time. I added another box here called call transfer because in the automatic aid portion, we have call transfer of one dispatch center calling another dispatch center saying we have a fire here, we need an engine. And you know, they dispatch the engine. So that's another minute on the time. These minutes here, this time that I'm providing you, this is like best case. This is like standard, right? This is national standard. You know, we don't hit it. It's very few agencies do. But the point I want to make is on mutual aid, the request goes out there. Okay, the unit gets on scene, first due unit gets on scene, evaluates what's going on, says, we need more help. Gets on the radio, we need more help. So dispatcher says, okay, and reaches out to the other agencies that will be providing mutual aid. What automatic aid does is move that there. All right, so we're cutting a few minutes off. We've got 4 minutes travel time, and again, that is best case scenario, right? Another minute and a half on turnout. So right there's 5.5 minutes that we're able to cut as long as the communication happens. The challenge is communications. The current setup of dispatch does not serve the community well when it comes to fire protection and EMS because we have 4 centers that dispatch fire units. All of San Diego County, there's 2.
Why are we so inefficient?
Why? Because people don't want to let go of their toys, to be honest. Okay. But it impacts our community. It increases time. So that call transfer time. If we had one unified dispatch center, there would be no call transfer time.
Correct.
It would go out seamlessly, automatically. Okay. So that's a difference, kind of a visual demonstration of what automatic aid can hopefully help us accomplish. So the auto aid agreement won't cover the entire county. This is what it would cover. City of Imperial, City of El Centro, unincorporated county from Sealy down to Heber to 111, including the ARCO station. That's why it butts out a little bit there. Up to include IVC, and then back around up above, you know, around Imperial. So that's the area we're starting with. That's the concept we're starting with. Both Chief Bernal and I agree that we want to look at other responses, traffic collisions on the freeway, hazardous materials, medical aids where we, if the Dogwood Station, Station 2, for example, is out on a call, say Station 2, Heber, then at some point automatically the Dogwood Station El Centro could respond to a medical aid in Heber if our station's out on another call. So we're working on that piece of it, but this is a start. We're going to start with the most significant, the low frequency, high risk residential structure fire. Any questions?
Questions?
I'm probably going to age myself here, but I know about 35 years ago, we used to have like an automatic aid type situation on the south side of El Centro after the fire burned down Tony's Garden. And then I also know we had an automatic response of water tenders in certain areas, the unincorporated area right around the outskirts of El Centro. There was an automatic response of a water tender, or you guys would automatically respond with a water tender. I don't even remember now. How does this differ from that? Is this kind of the same type of structure or buildup as that is? If there's something in this area, we just automatically go, and then, whoever's the automatic aid is automatically goes, and then they stay there until the county arrives, or until the jurisdiction agency arrives, or how does that work out?
So what you describe as automatic aid, so to my knowledge, there's never been automatic aid
I believe it was referred to as an automatic mutual aid.
Yeah, so it's more mutual aid, but what it might be is self-dispatching mutual aid, which self-dispatching is frowned upon.
Okay.
Self-dispatching is when, there's a fire over there, I hear it on the radio, we're gonna go.
Yeah.
We don't do that anymore because that unit's unaccounted for.
Yeah.
Right? The incident commander who gets to the scene has no idea that unit's coming. And if they get there and commit themselves to something, he has no idea. The lessons learned throughout the country is that people get hurt because we don't know they're there.
Well, this one, they knew they were there. I know back then it was because with El Centro dispatching for both Imperial County and El Centro and Imperial, if we received a structure fire or some type of fire in that outskirts area that was actually outside the city limits, we would automatically respond El Centro and then also respond the county. So the county was aware they were there. I just didn't know if it was going to be the same type of structure or where.
So it's going to be eventually, the vision is that it'll eventually grow beyond just fires, right? These other incidents that occur on a daily basis that we are able to help one another and help one another in the end to help that whoever that is dialing 911, whoever is in need, right? Whether that's a medical aid, a traffic collision, or a fire, right? Before, it's mostly, what we have existing is mostly limited to fires. So yeah, that would have been limited. But this is going to be more far ranging, but it's going to take time to get there, right? We got to build it slowly, and I think I had a discussion earlier. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? So this is a bite. It's got a pretty good sized bite, but it's one bite, and so that would be we're looking beyond fire, similar to that, but we're looking beyond fire. That might have been a very limited agreement that they had in place.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So earlier in your presentation, you mentioned how our county is like very under-resourced. Is that due to a lack of funding or just lack of firefighters or all of the above?
It starts with funding, right? So we know funding is a challenge, and we acknowledge that. I mention it because I want to recognize that our folks, really they attack these things, whether it's fires or medical aids or traffic collisions. They don't have the same resources that I've seen other areas have, and it's just they do the job.
Yeah.
They're able to get it done, and could we do it faster? Well, yeah, but if we had more hands, more tools, more engines, but we don't. So we work with what we got, and so it's important, I think, to recognize that and recognize the work that our folks do with the resources that they have.
Right. Yeah, I appreciate that answer. For me, I hear lack of resources when it comes to fire, right? Like for me as a council member, whether it be our police department or fire, like I'm always like, my number one goal is to provide them with the resources that they can to come home safe to their families. So that was just kind of what stuck out.
Yeah, and that's the emphasis in training, right? Is in the end you want to go home, and so do what you can, but don't don't go beyond the point where you're gonna jeopardize yourself or the guys and gals next to you, right? It's a hard thing to do, I gotta admit, because I was there, right? I was there for many years, and you're in the middle of it, and you're like, we're gonna go do this. We're gonna go in, we're gonna take care of this. Yeah, we don't endorse that, but I get it.
Real quick, Chief. Has this been implemented or tried out? Or
This
when
has
are we
not been-
starting?
This has not been implemented yet. We want to come before you, next month for the city to, approve it. My plan is to go to the board, do the same thing, get them to approve it. El Centro is going to do the same thing with their city council. And then we will implement it through a training program, and make sure that all three shifts are, familiar or comfortable with what the expectations are. We also got to do something basic like just familiarization, right? Where's stuff on your engine? Where's stuff on my engine? You know, how this may sound simple, but it can be a big deal. How do you how do you load your pre-connect hosts? If you can't deploy it all the same depending on how it's loaded, because otherwise you end up with a mess on the ground.
Right.
We call it spaghetti, right? You end up with spaghetti. You have to deploy it a certain way because of the way it's loaded.
Yeah.
So we have to do those types of things. And in time we may be, hey, why don't we kind of synchronize this cabinet and we'll both have, these, tools here, and that way it's a little easier. But whether that happens or not, or when, I don't know. But we have the training piece, familiarization, training, actual, kind of run through some of these incidents, to ensure that, everyone's on the same page. And one last piece on that is both El Centro and County Fire is adopting what's called tablet command. And because we will both be users on that, we can see each other's resources, so the battalion chiefs can track all the individuals, all the personnel on the scene, no matter which, agency they're with.
Thank you. And to add to this, as a community, we can all help. I know sometimes we look at the times and say, hey, it takes forever for somebody to get there, but as a community, we can do our help the agencies a lot by, see the lights and sirens, see the lights, hear the sirens, move to the right,
Make way, yeah.
make way.
Move over.
Let the engines, let the police cars go through. The longer traffic is impeded, the longer the response takes. So as a community, we can also do our share.
For sure.
So
Yeah.
thank you guys very much.
Everyone has a role.
Absolutely. Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you, Chief.
All right,
Appreciate,
thank
much
you.
appreciated.
We'll see you next month with the agreement.
Chief Bernal, thank you for being here. Chief Miller, thank you for being here, and all of our agencies, thank you very much. Moving on to our next item, A7, our 2024 Summer Program Overview Presentation by Mr. Tony Lopez, Parks and Recreation Director.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, Victoria Topeta, Recreation Coordinator, will be presenting this tonight.
All right, well, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mayor Ambrano, members of the council. So I'm going to be presenting on our summer programs for both 2023 and 2024 to kind of give you an overview of the different programs and activities, as well as the increase due to demand that we had for these different programs, as well as some ideas that we have projected for future programming and service. So I'll go ahead and get started. So I just kind of wanted to read the mission statement for the department. So the mission statement reads, enriching lives through quality programs, entertaining community events, enjoyable experiences, and updated facilities with the intention of preserving the past, providing for the present, and planning for the future while promoting the spirit of fun. We provide our city residents fun activities with their health and safety in mind. So to go over some of the different services that the Recreation Division specifically provides, so under Recreation, and again, this is specifically for what we do over the summer, so Recreation involves day camp, specialty camps, arts and recreation camps, and sports camps. Our aquatics provides aqua aerobics, swim lessons, open swim, lap swim, and pool party rentals. Some community activities that we have is our end of summer bash, our movies at the pool, and then our movies at the park. And then some future ideas that we have is to expand recreation beyond just the summer season, but also into the fall and winter, and then hopefully eventually into the spring, so it's just a full year round service. So to kind of break down a few of the numbers, I know it seems like a lot of numbers on the screen right now, but when you look at 2023 and 2024, when we have all summer programs and the max number, that number represents the amount of like spots we had open for registration. So that means like whether it's a swim lesson, it's a day camp, it's a sport camp, that number just kind of encompasses everything. So in 2023, we had a max amount of spaces of 888. And then when you look at what was actually enrolled, we had 984. So that essentially means that we had to kind of make room because we had such a huge demand for these programs. So if you look at our wait list number, our wait list was 628. So that means like those were unfortunately children or participants that couldn't necessarily enroll right away because the program that they may have potentially wanted was full. However, if we look at 2024, all the summer programs, we were able to up our programs a lot by 65%. That was an increase in like overall program activities that we had from 2023 to 2024. And so we had a maximum number of 1,154, and then we had an enrolled of 1,048. So that means that all those people were able to actually get enrolled, and we even had extra space available, which I see as a good thing because then our waitlist number went down significantly. And then just like focusing on aquatics specifically, aquatics had a 105% increase, and this was due to some different scheduling things that we did over the summer, which really helped us boost a lot of our swim lessons that we provided. So if we look at our swim lessons in 2023, we only offered morning swim lessons, and then in 2024, we were able to offer morning and afternoon swim lessons, which really opened up a lot of doors for the different classes that we could offer. And then there's other numbers there as well. I won't go through them all, but there was definitely an increase in the different programs that we had overall, as well as a lower number on our wait list, which overall was a good thing for me because that meant that more people were actually getting enrolled in our camps.
Victoria, before you move on, it seems that the day camp and the arts and rec, the max and the enrollment fell. Do you have any idea what that's attributed to?
Yes. So that was actually attributed to in 2023, we had 8 weeks of programming, but in 2024, we had 7 weeks, and that was to account for a week of staff training. We really felt like we needed to prepare our staff before we kind of threw them into the ringer with all these kids and programs, and so we took that first week of summer to train our lifeguards, to train our rec staff, really give them like a chance to get to know one another, get to know each other's names, make sure that they're comfortable with what the expectations were for the summer, and so that's why there's a slight decrease in the overall number. For day camp specifically, because there was 1 week that we did take where we took like 3 days to train our lifeguard staff, get them, really prepared for anything that could happen at the pool, and then same thing for our rec staff as well. So we took that extra time to kind of invest in the staff before the summer started.
So I'm also looking to like the junior lifeguards, and it went down by half.
So for junior lifeguard, what we tried implementing this summer was so last summer, let me start off by saying that in 2023, we had 2 sessions of junior lifeguard that were essentially the same program, just 2 different weeks to kind of, give people, if they couldn't do the first week, they could do the second week. And in 2024, we unfortunately did not have anybody sign up for what was the level 2 class. We tried providing something for a little bit of the older group of kids who maybe potentially wanted to be lifeguards, but were unsure. And so it was what we call junior lifeguard level 2. And so it was from ages 14 to 16. And that essentially was kind of like basically getting them ready if they wanted to take the lifeguard certification course. Unfortunately, we didn't have anybody sign up, so we did have to close that program, and that's why we only offered the junior lifeguard level 1. So that's why you see that decrease there.
Do you know if there was any talk to the kids that you guys work with on these programs to find out why they didn't have the interest, or was it maybe an advertising problem, or is it just there was no interest?
I think there was a low interest because historically we haven't offered a lot of programs for that specific age group, and so that's what our big goal that we have is to offer something for kind of that tween age, because right now most of our camps do cap out at or age out at age 12. And so we're kind of trying to find a space for those, you know, in that kind of in between where maybe they're too young to work as a lifeguard, but they're too old to be part of our camp. So that's kind of where we were trying to find that middle ground. I think for sure having a bigger push for that and having it maybe be its own like flyer, things like that, to kind of really get kids involved.
And also maybe the education or the making the people that are involved in the first course more aware and throughout the course.
Yeah.
Pushing them, you know,
Yeah, and
encouraging them to move on to
that was kind of the goal, is that like if you did level 1, then we would encourage you to do level 2, because it would be slightly more difficult, and not more difficult, but it would be more in depth on like the different material that they would be covering.
So, what's the difference between the max and the enrolled?
So the max was the amount of like spaces that we initially had when we started off the summer. And then the enrolled is how many actually enrolled. So that's why some of the enrolled numbers are bigger than the actual max, because of such a huge demand that we had for some programs. We had to kind of move things around and squeeze people in wherever we could, because there was just huge wait lists for a lot of our camps.
But then some of them, like the enrolled, is smaller.
Yeah, and that's just because there wasn't as many enrolled as we initially thought there would be spaces for.
Well,
So we had extra spaces.
like in 2024, the afternoon swim, you had a max of 165 enrolled with 150, but you had a wait list. Is there a reason like those extra 15 spots weren't filled from the wait list?
Yeah, so that would mostly be from the different levels that we provide. So
Okay.
not everybody that is going to be in the same level. So a lot of what we saw was our splash and play and our like kind of like our mommy and me classes. Those are really, really popular. And so those tend to be the ones with the highest wait lists. And so that's why we still have those wait lists, even our privates as well. Those tend to have higher wait lists. So it's just now a matter of really looking from these numbers and the the rosters from last summer and seeing, okay, what was in high demand. So we offer more of those classes, and what was in low demand. So we not offer as many.
Got a question? Oh,
I'm just looking at your numbers. So it says there's a 65% increase, but the math doesn't pencil out, because even your max was a 100 or 1154. The other was 888.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
I just don't. How did you get your 65% increase?
It was from like the overall. So it was overall all the programs that we had. So it wasn't just a specific program, but it was from the amount of programs like in spaces that we had. So even though a lot of the programs are similar, it was the amount of spaces per program where we got the 65.
Yeah, well, like your all summer programs, like your max in 2024 is 1,154, and then your max.
But I think we need to look at the enrolled, not the max.
Okay, so then your enrolled goes from 1,048 in 2024 to 984.
Went from 984 to 1,000.
And it's not a 65% increase. That's what I'm getting at.
I can provide counsel like the spreadsheet that I have if you guys would like. I don't have the spreadsheet with me right now, but I can always provide it for you guys where all that math kind of came down.
I'm just asked. 65% is huge, and I'm a numbers person. I can't figure out the math for the life of me.
I can provide counsel with the spreadsheet if need be.
yeah. Let me ask a real quick question. Your morning swim and afternoon swim, what was the difference in those?
So morning swim was 5 days a week, and which I'll go over this in the rest of the presentation too, but I can briefly explain it. So morning swim was 5 days a week, and then after for 30 minutes per day, and then afternoon swim was 3 days a week for an hour. So they evened out in the
swim
end.
lessons?
Yeah, and these are the swim lessons.
And if you don't mind me asking, what were the hours for the afternoon swim?
The afternoon swim was from 5 to 7.
Okay. I was just seeing if we were able to give time to like parents and you guys, the parents at work, and so it definitely that consideration is really nice to see that parents can actually go take afternoon swim with their kids.
Yeah, that was the whole intention, is of providing like an opportunity for working parents, just because we felt we were very limited with the morning swim hours. So opening the afternoon swim lessons and as well as even our open swim hours was a huge hit.
How many people did you guys have that would come to your open swim?
So in 2023, not much, unfortunately. I don't have those numbers right in front of me, but on an average, it was at least 20 people per day. It increased significantly. And again, I can provide council with those numbers on that spreadsheet that I have if need be.
Yeah, if you could, that would be great.
I just know some of the days that I went to the pool, it was busy.
Yeah, it got really, really busy this summer, so which was a good thing for us overall. We had a lot more hours that accommodated the community, which was our end goal.
Thank you.
So kind of now going in depth a little bit more as far as like what we did for the specific recreation programs, kind of the different changes that we implemented from 2023 to 2024. So one thing that we added in 2023 for our day camp was doing field trips to the splash pad and to the Imperial pool, which the kids loved this. So utilizing our local resources, you know, to kind of add something fun for the kids over the summer. We did what we called cardboard boat races. So a lot of the cardboard that I accumulated from ordering different supplies over the summer, we kind of flattened that out, saved it, and then the kids created their own teams and built a cardboard boat out of cardboard and duct tape. And so they loved this, and then they got to go to the pool and test out their cardboard boat. So it was a huge hit for them. And so we did that. A lot of them sunk very quickly, unfortunately.
You know, it's funny you say that because I did get to see some of the designs that they came up with. There's some pretty unique designs. You know, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. Yes, it is.
They were very
Yes, it is.
confident at first.
Yes, and then until they got in and they went, okay, it didn't work.
Yeah.
But it was
And
great.
so we definitely brought that back again for day camp. The kids loved it. Even our staff really loved it. They got into it. They were helping out the kids as much as they could because they really wanted their team to win. So it was really cool seeing both our participants and our staff buy into this these different activities for our campers. We also offered, you know, snow cones at our field trips, and we offered pizza parties, which was generously donated by the Friends of Imperial Parks. And then something we also were able to kind of change around to help our parents out was we offered different sign-up options. So you could either sign up for just one day, you could sign up for the whole week, you could sign up for the whole summer, depending on what your needs were. And again, that was to kind of accommodate the working parent who maybe had Fridays off, and so they didn't need to sign up for the whole week, or had Mondays off and wanted the rest of the days. So that was a super big win on our end. And that's just for day camp. For our specialty camps, so in 2023, we implemented 3 new specialty camp themes. And so these were for both toddlers, ages 3 to 5, and then for kids, ages 6 to 12 years old. And we introduced 2 new STEM programs, which we saw were a huge hit. We actually ended up having to add a second session of one of our STEM programs because there was such a high demand for that program. And then what we changed in 2024 with these specialty camps is we noticed that the age range for our 6 to 12-year-olds was a little too big. It was a little hard to kind of create activities for both were age appropriate for a 6-year-old and a 12-year-old. So we separated those 2 age groups from 6 to 8 years old and from 9 to 12 years old. So this kind of opened more spots for the different age groups, and we were able to add 5 new specialty camp themes, which kind of replaced some outdated themes that we had. And they were a lot of them were STEM focused, which again were a huge hit. The community seems to really like those. And so what we saw in 2023, we wanted to re-implement that again and continue that trend going. And then for our arts and recreation camp, so we implemented 1 new arts and recreation camp in summer 2023, and then we continued offering Kung Fu throughout the summer season. Kung Fu is one of our programs that does go year round. Our instructor, Constancio, has been so committed to the city of Imperial for a very long time, so he is a huge staple, and he definitely has this following of students. And then in summer of 2023, we also were able to offer Zumba Centao, and this was a huge hit as well. We had to actually separate that program into 2 days a week to accommodate the amount of people that wanted to participate. And then in 2024, this is where I was explaining that we're trying to add those camps for the kind of tween age from 11 to 14. So we were able to add a couple of those, and that was able to serve a wider age demographic. And then for our sports camps, so these are kind of fundamental camps, like it's just kind of teaching the basics. They're not super in-depth, but kind of giving the children an introduction into what the different sports are. So we offered basketball, soccer, volleyball, and cheerleading in 2023. And again, these camps were in such high demand, so we ended up having to offer an additional session of basketball in summer. And that trend kept going in 2024 because we did have to add an additional basketball camp for ages 9 to 12 and then an additional soccer camp for ages 6 to 8 years old. So it was very, very popular. The kids love the sports. And so that's kind of an overview of different things that we've changed or moved around for our different programs and activities that we offer for recreation.
Bet your parents loved it when the kids got home because they were tired.
Yeah, they were definitely tired. And so here are some pictures. There's top left is that those boat races. That was the first year we implemented it. I believe that's Calissa actually up there. And then that's to the right of it is a picture of like some of the pizza parties, and then the bottom three are some of those different STEM based programs that we were offering. So we had a robotics camp, we had them make their own s'mores oven. So the kids really, really loved it. And then continued that trend in 2024 with, again, the boat races, the different camps. The bottom middle picture is one of our field trips where they were having a water balloon fight. So they were definitely busy over the summer. Okay, so moving on to our aquatic side now. So this encompasses all the things that we do at the Imperial Pool. So in summer 2023, we were able to re-implement lap swim hours. So we had those in the mornings. And then in summer of 2024, we continued offering lap swim hours. And then we were also able to offer an aqua aerobics class. And that was specifically for seniors. So they really loved it. And they continue asking for it next summer. So we're hoping to continue that into summer 2025 as well. Excuse me. For the swim lessons, overall, we offered about 84 swim lessons throughout the summer in 2023, and they varied in different levels from infant to level 5. And then in summer 2024, we offered afternoon lessons, so that was like a huge hit. Again, those were Monday through Wednesday. And then we offered, again, our morning lessons again, and we were able to change around those times to kind of accommodate more space available. So in the morning, like I mentioned earlier, they were 30-minute long sessions, and that was something that even the Red Cross recommends. So we were able to kind of move those around. We're still trying to find ways to get those afternoon sessions a little bit shorter because for specific age ranges, it is a long time for them to kind of be actively paying attention, but they're still a huge hit. They were pretty full throughout the summer. And then for our open swim, so in summer of 2023, we continued to provide our dive-in movie nights. We offered our open swim hours Monday through Thursday in the afternoons, and then Friday nights as well, and then Saturday mornings. We re-implemented the end of summer celebration with our end of summer bash. And then we continued offering the pool party reservations, and that trend continues on into summer of 2024. However, this is where we changed those hours. We started offering the open swim hours Monday through Wednesday from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. And again, these were a huge hit. We had a lot more attendees for these hours than we did in the year previous. In summer 2023, the hours were from 12 to 3, and it just didn't really work. It was in the middle of the day. It was too hot, and so the evening hours worked out a lot better. And then we were able to continue offering our dive-in movie nights. We were able to celebrate the city of Imperial's 120th birthday, and then at the end of Summer Bash, we gave over $2,000 worth of raffle prizes, so the community definitely really loved that. And then in the summer of 2023, this was a huge win for us. We were actually able to offer in-house lifeguard certifications for our summer staff, which was definitely huge. That was always something historically we have struggled with, is getting our lifeguards hired and then also certified. And so we are fortunate enough to have somebody on staff that does have their certification to certify lifeguards. And so because of that, we are able to now certify them in-house. So that helps out a lot. And so we were able to hire 12 lifeguards and then hire as well 8 water safety instructors. And the water safety instructors are specific to our swim lessons. These are individuals that have a certification to actually teach individuals how to swim. So it's a little bit different than just a lifeguard certification. And then again, this summer we continue to offer that in-house to certify our summer staff. And then we also offered lifeguard certifications to the public as well. And we did have neighboring cities lifeguards come to us and get recertified. So that was pretty cool to see that, even though we're a very small city with a very small pool, we still are able to, utilize the resources that we have. And we were able to hire 13 lifeguards this year and 10 water safety instructors. And if I'm speaking too fast, I apologize.
No.
It's a lot of information, and you guys had like 6 other presentations before this. So these are some pictures from 2023. So different activities that we had. That middle picture at the bottom is actually one of our trainings that we had for the lifeguards. And then that bottom left picture is one of our junior lifeguards shadowing with our lifeguards, and then just different people enjoying the pool. And then in 2024, again, that top left picture is actually our aqua aerobics class. Then to the right of it is some swim lessons, and then the bottom pictures are the different events. So our end of summer bash, our 120th birthday celebration, and dive-in movie nights. All right, moving on to our movies at the park. So in 2023, we showed 2023 and 2024. We showed 4 different movies last season, and then a different feature that we added a snack bar. So we have our own popcorn machine and our own cotton candy machine. So we have a little snack bar that we always bring out to our movie nights now. Sometimes we'll give out free popcorn and cotton candy. The kids absolutely love it. And then this year in 2024, we were able to actually wrap our movie trailer. So that's our newly wrapped movie trailer. So it looks way, way nicer than before. It was kind of fading on us a little bit. So it's nice that we can now have that at our different movie nights, and it clearly says City of Imperial movie nights. And then this year we're going to be showing 5 different movies. And just because I know I've been getting this question a lot, why our first movie night is on a Thursday. So when I checked, I'm pretty sure Imperial is playing Central that following Friday. So I figured it's probably going to be a big game, so let's try out a Thursday night, see how the community responds to it, and we can always change our other dates if Thursday nights seem to work better for our community. But that's kind of why that first movie changed a little bit, is because we are playing Imperial's playing Central, and so I don't want to compete with the other different activities that we have going on.
So what time does it start out on Thursday?
We currently have it scheduled for 6, but with the sun going down, we might have to push it back a little bit, but we just always like to schedule a little bit earlier just in case. But yeah, usually it's either 6 or 7. It honestly depends when the sun goes down.
School night.
Okay, moving on to some future ideas. So, like I mentioned, our goal is to expand our programming beyond just the summer season. We want to be able to provide services all year long, and a big goal we have is we hope to accomplish this using the Imperial Village community space that they have in those apartments. So we've already been kind of in communication with them, but that's a huge space that would honestly open up a million opportunities for programming for us there. And we're currently already been reaching out to different contractors to hopefully get instructors coming in and teaching a variety of different programs. But the goal is that, we're inclusive, so we're not just serving our youth and children, but also our adults and our seniors. We want to keep health and wellness in mind. Having our community be active, recreation is about being active. And so we want to make sure that our residents are engaged and, providing a better quality of life and different opportunities for them. And using our local resources, I want to partner with the best resources that we have, which is our community. There's probably so many people out there with amazing other skills that I do not have myself. And so partnering with them to provide better programs than I could ever think of in my own head is really my goal, is to, use our local resources, use our community to our advantage, and, get everybody engaged with one another. So some current ideas that we have in the works. So our Kung Fu instructor, Constancio, he actually also teaches Tai Chi, and he's been telling me for a long time that he has a lot of people interested. Again, our issue has just always been space. Right now we don't really have the space available to him, so my goal is that once we have that community space in the Imperial Village apartments, we'll be able to open up some different hours for him. I know he has like his little following, and I'm really, really hoping I can get that for him. And I think it'd be a good opportunity for our seniors. It's in a senior apartment, so I figured why not service a community that's already living there. Another program that I hope to bring is Zumba and Zumba Centao. So our instructor from 2023, she would love to work with us again, and so she did an awesome job in 2023. And if you're not familiar, because I'm probably sure I didn't explain it that well, Zumba Centao is Zumba, but sitting on a chair. So it's a little bit easier on, the senior community who maybe who the way she explained it to me was if, they have joint pain or things like that, it's a little bit easier on them, but it still gets them active and moving. So that's a goal to bring back to us because we did have it in 2023. We unfortunately couldn't in 2024. So I hope we can bring that as a year-round program. Again, yoga and Pilates is another one that I would love to bring again for our, adults and even our seniors. A fun idea that I had is a pay and sip. These are pretty popular and they've been getting pretty good. So I'd love to bring that out for, again, another adult program where the adults in our community can kind of get to know each other, engage in different things. We always see arts and crafts for kids, but I think our adults also like arts and crafts too, an adult version of arts and crafts. So I think that'd be something fun to bring. And then as well as dance and music programs, I know those are very, very popular and we don't have currently anything, and I know we used to offer them in the past. But again, space has always just been a huge issue for us, and during the summer, because we have so many other things that have already been established and very, very popular, hopefully in the fall and winter with having a new space, we can bring different ideas and different things that we don't traditionally get to do over the summer. And then another idea that I had was mommy and daddy and me classes, like mommy/daddy and me classes. I know in the past we've done like cooking classes where the parent and the child get to create a meal together. So different programs and activities like that is something that I would really, really love to see because it not just focusing on the children or the youth, but also focusing on the whole family. And then some ideas that we have for summer 2025. So we want to continue offering the lifeguard certification and training that, again, has been a huge, huge hit. We're hoping to offer a WSI certification training as well. So currently our staff member who has his lifeguard certification trainer, I'm probably saying that wrong, but he already has a certificate to certify lifeguards, and so he's going to be scheduled to go on a training to hopefully then be able to certify WSIs. And so that'll be a huge, huge door opener for us because then not only can we certify our lifeguards in-house, but we can also certify them as water safety instructors in-house. So that'll open up a huge, huge opportunity for us. Currently, we have to go out of the city to do this, so being able to bring it in-house and then in the future provide that even for the public would be a huge, huge plus for us. And then another thing that I want to bring is a junior rec leader program. So this summer I had a lot of our kids that are aging out tell me to please bring a program for them that they can participate in. And so this was an idea I did have for this summer, but I wanted to establish it a little bit more before I launched it. And so hopefully I can kind of similar to the junior lifeguard, kind of get almost like an internship for, again, that tween age, who's a little too young to work, but a little too old to participate, kind of give them, something fun to do, something that they can take leadership roles of. And I've already had so many kids reach out to me during the summer about this because they were very bummed out that they were 12 years old and were aging out and will not be able to participate next summer. So this is something I hope to bring, to service that tween age group from like 11 to 14, 15 years old. Okay. So thank you guys so much for listening to me talk about all the fun things that we do in Parks and Recreation over the summer and hopefully get to do year round. But if you guys have any questions, I will stand for questions.
Questions?
I have none. Thank you very much. Brother.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And, just the different variety of programs that we offer for our community and, keeping in mind our parents that do work and, the after hours. I think that's greatly appreciated. I know there's a lot of time and effort that goes into that, and the council appreciates it. So thank you very much for your hard work and dedication.
Thank you guys. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll move on to our consent agenda. All items appearing on the consent agenda will be acted upon by the city council with one motion without discussion. Should any council member or any other person request any item be considered separately, that item will be taken up by as determined by the mayor. Any
Motion to approve.
I make there's a
couple?
you gotta pull. So there's a warrant on there to approve all of them except for number 120446 and 120468. to approve all of those.
So make a motion, you got a motion to approve all of them
All
except
but those
those? Okay, so, got a
Second.
motion, a second, please vote.
Motion carries 4-0.
Make a motion to approve warrant number 120446 for James Tucker.
Got a motion
I'll second.
and a second, please vote.
Motion carries 3-0 with one abstain from Councilmember, or for Mayor Pro Tem, Tucker.
Make a motion to approve warrant number 20468 for Nancy Amparano.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Got a motion,
Second.
second, please vote.
Motion carries 3-0 with one abstain from Mayor Amparano.
Thank you for that. With that, we'll move on to, C action items. C1, purchase of a prefabricated kennel facility for the city's animal control shelter. And this will be, Police Chief Aaron Real.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. The Imperial Police Department's request an authorization to purchase a new kennel structure to replace the one that we had at their existing facility at Wastewater. The hurricane had come through and blown away and destroyed the shade structure, so all that remains at this point is just cages that are open to the elements. Since that, the remaining functionality and limited use of the facility has impacted their animal control efforts. The effort to try to find an outside funding source was exhausted, trying to find additional grants and funding, and unfortunately, we were not successful in finding that. And then so we went about the purpose of trying to find a cost-effective measure, which this is from a company on the East Coast and is within the budgetary range that was made available to us. And we request authorization to continue forward with its purchase.
Do we have any questions?
No, I just want to say I love seeing that this coming through. So I know when people lose their animals, they're pretty worried about them. So to have a place that's in compliance and has an AC in it is really important. So with that, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, got a motion,
Second.
second, please vote.
Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item C2, approve and accept the 2022-2023 State Citizens Option for Public Safety or COPS Allocation Fund and adopt resolution number 2024-53 with Chief Real.
So again, Mayor and Council, the police department has been allocated an additional $97,000 and $97,033 from the COPS grant, which its expenses are expected by the end of December. We are seeking the approval of the items that are listed from 1 through 9. The e-bikes, one Ford Explorer Active, and that's just a base model Ford Explorer. It's not going to be a black and white police car, and no additional equipment associated with it. 2 E-Z-GO golf carts that would be dedicated to the SROs at Frank Wright and the high school. And we've tried to work with the schools, and they don't have the resources available to give to us. So we're taking advantage of these additional funds to purchase those for the SROs. The snap charge locker, ballistic helmets, protective soft helmets, ceramic plate carriers, binoculars, and drone replacement parts are dedicated towards the patrol personnel, and the numbers that are associated with it are in addition to items that we've already purchased.
Any questions? Chief, I got a real quick question, if I may. So by seeing this, we're bringing the bike program back?
So yes, the anticipation is because it's e-bikes, they are electronically assisted, but you still have to pedal to go. So it falls under some of the same training requirements through Post. The company themselves they make training available for our staff, which would be the reasonable expectation. And we'd be able to utilize those for when time permits for patrol purposes, the fairgrounds, special events, schools, and those types of things.
All right. Any questions?
Does the grant funding cover buying those e-bikes?
It does.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, got a motion?
Second.
Second, please vote.
Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. With that, we'll move on to item C3, the awarded construction contract for the Ayton Boulevard Rehabilitation Project between Valori Way and old SR 86, project number bid 2024-03, and this is Mr. Mora with Community Development Director.
Mr. Mayor and council members. This is for the rehabilitation from Belore to SR 86. The project is a grinding overlay and plastic bike path on both sides of Ayton Boulevard. We received 2 bids, and after review, we are recommending to award the contract to Rope Engineering in the amount of $1,878,883.11. And I'll stand for any questions that you may have.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, got a motion?
Second.
Second, please vote. This one's been a long time coming, too.
It has been quite a bit.
Sorry.
Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. Moving on to item C4, award construction contract for the Ayton Boulevard Class 2 Bike Lane Project from Valori to Austin. Project bid number 2024-02. Mr. Mora, Community Development Director.
Mr. Mayor and council members, this is for the bike path, which is going to be a thermoplastic on Ayton Boulevard from Belore to Austin. And we received.
You know where I'm going with this.
Thermoplast is very
One bid
expensive, Robert.
from Enterprises LLC in the amount of $678,459.76, and we are recommending to award this contract with this.
Is that close to your, where you thought it would be? Financially?
No, a little
Estimate.
bit above
Above.
what we estimated.
Because we had estimated 400 and something thousand,
184.
almost 500.
Correct. So, and we only received 1 bid.
Thermoplast is very expensive, Robert.
Yes.
I make a
green
motion
paint.
I make a motion to approve. It's not paint, it's plastic and it stays forever.
I'll second that.
Yes.
Not paint.
Okay, I got a motion and a second for not paint.
It's melted onto there. It's a
Motion
Melted
carries
plastic.
4-0.
Thank you.
very expensive.
Can I just mention, no, for those of you who haven't heard this before, we've had 46 conversations about it, so we knew it was coming.
Yes.
Not this project. but-
Oh, no, there's
Yeah,
more
it's all
coming.
of them, yeah.
Yes.
Thermoplast is very expensive.
I mean, thermoplast looks great, but
It's very expensive. Leave it alone. We'll go to the next one.
there is no more next one. We're going on to reports. So D with department reports, and we'll start with Mr. Mora.
I have nothing to add tonight.
Do you want to talk about thermoplastic
No,
How expensive it is.
and how expensive it is for being green?
no more comments.
Okay, just making sure. Mr. Dale?
I'm happy to share that the notice to proceed for the road rehabilitation, various road rehabilitation project has been issued. The first contract day is October 7th on Monday. So it won't necessarily start that day, but that's the first day that the contract days will start running. So I've talked to the contractor, they're on board to start as soon as possible. And we will be, as a city, doing the thermoplastic striping.
So it's less very expensive.
Yeah. So it's less expensive?
Yes, we will save money on that, yes.
How long is the water line installation on 14th anticipated to take? Sorry, that was a phone question.
I don't have that right now, but I can send it to.
I
city
know, that's,
manager.
I was just curious.
Yes.
Depends if it's going to be thermoplastic or not.
It's plastic pipe, so.
Plastic type pipe.
But I'll get you the date right away.
Thank you. Mr. Lopez?
So like Victoria mentioned, tomorrow at Monterey Park is 5 nights at Freddy, from 6 to 9. is a PG-13 movie. I don't know if it's suitable for all kids, but we're trying a little bit different. Five Nights at Freddy has a huge following, and we're thinking it's going to be a huge success as far as that movie goes. And we're trying to kind of capture that audience that the more popular, the more following, and you'll see that in our special events where we're even bringing a Taylor Swift cover band, which is not didn't sit well with me, but it's
Are you not a Swiftie? What is?
no, not yet. But
Not
they're
yet?
trying. They're trying. They're trying. But and then we have our Fiesta de los Muertos, October 19th from 5 to 9 downtown. State of the City also that day. So we expect to see all of you guys there, like we always do. It's going to be a good time. We have some great entertainment lined up, and then the following week we have Trunk or Treat as well with live entertainment, a car show, haunted maze, all those things that trick or treating for the kids. Last year we ran out. There were so many in attendance.
Oh, yeah.
That they all ran out of candy. So this year we're kind of upping that a lot more, and hopefully we don't get even twice as much as we expected and run out again. But it's always great to see all the community show up, and we see a lot at our special events that it's not only with our City of Imperial residents, but it's countywide. Imperial has that reputation of they do the best events. So we're trying to hopefully keep that alive.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Sir?
Nothing to report. However, in the management memo, we are making some modifications. That way we can report better. So if any question, just let us know.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Chief Rio?
So I'm not sure she wants credit, but I'm going to give it to her anyway. Our city clerk, Christina, brought to our attention a potential need for the community to be able to drop off expired, unwanted, or unused prescription medications. So Moises, our evidence tech, worked with a pharmacy, Meyer Pharmacy out of Michigan, to give us a drug take-back container in our lobby, and with the assistance of public services and their staff, it's fixed to the floor, and then our community now has the ability to turn in those unwanted items. There are things that are prohibited from being put in there, to include thermoplastics, but the community it's something that's good, and it's available to take that medication so it doesn't end up in wastewater and it doesn't end up in landfills, and then DEA gets to be able to dispose of it properly.
Very cool.
That's cool. Thank you. Thank you for that recommendation.
Well, I had to do the walk of shame first because Chief did tell me that we had one. So I walked through City Hall with a bag full of pills.
It was a gigantic bag.
Whole prescription.
I was thinking like a little bag.
Ziploc baggie. It wasn't that big.
The shopping bag.
I'm just proud you went to dispose of them properly.
Yeah.
Yes. Everybody else just. I'm just kidding. We don't do that.
I'm not kidding. I do that.
Now, goldfish is a different story. They end up there. No. Thank you. Chief Lancer?
I think you heard enough from me for one night. If you're a baseball fan, Padres have advanced, so there's that.
Talking football, or what was that?
Now they get to play the Dodgers.
So who's gonna win?
I don't know, but
Yankees.
yeah.
Oh, what was that?
Loser wears Stacy. Loser wears the other one.
I know that we have some
Here to the
Padre
next
fans,
council
right?
meeting.
Not a chance.
One
What?
Padre fan?
I'm a
Over
Padre
here.
fan.
Two,
diehard.
three. Okay.
Stacy's
How many
the
Dodger fans?
Stacy.
Okay. We got more Dodgers. Okay. So we'll see how this ends up. All right.
I guarantee he's back there at watching.
It's
on TV.
over.
It's already over.
It's over.
It's over. Or
All right. Ms. Smith?
So I'd like to announce that we have filled our fleet and facility supervisor position. It was in promotion, so congratulations to Ricardo Arguelles taking over that position. And then we just want to announce we are doing a staff pumpkin carving contest. We did get everybody a foam pumpkin, so they'll last longer. And starting October 14th through 25th, we'll have them on display at City Hall. We encourage the community to swing by, take a look, and vote for your favorite pumpkin. And then we have our staff Oktoberfest on the 31st. We invite council to join us and judge our costume contest that day from 11 to 1 p.m. It'll be at the police department parking lot.
Look forward to that. Thank you. With that, how about our city attorney? How about our city clerk?
Nothing.
All right, Mr. Morita?
Nothing additional from me, Mr. Mayor.
All right. How about we start on this side with Ms. Mendoza?
The only thing I have to report is thank you to you for your service on the California League of Cities. We had our division dinner this past week, and Mayor Amparano ended his term as the president of the Cal League of Cities. So thank you for your service on that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And congratulations also to Councilmember Ido Beso Martinez on her appointment to the Board of Directors for Cal League of Cities.
That's a great appointment there. Appreciate her dedication on that. Mr. Tucker?
Last week, Tuesday and Wednesday, I joined Mr. Mora and Yvonne. We went on a journey to Palm Springs to the ICSC conference. And what it is, it's a gathering of deal makers of commercial property. And Othan, the city had a booth, and he was handing out hot tamales. He was supposed to bring some tonight, but I don't know where they ended up. But I'd like to commend him and Yvonne. They did a wonderful job, and I kind of walked around and checked out all the booths. But thank you. It was a very fun trip and a learning trip for myself.
Good. Thank you. Ms. Burnward?
I have nothing to report.
What? Come on. One thing.
It's late.
Oh, you're in the hospital. I was reading about it.
That's a different story, right?
They forgot to mention that the Attorney General filed a motion to dismiss 2 days before they filed their injunction.
See?
That is all I will report on that. TBD.
All right.
TBD. We have court October 24th. Everything's moving good.
To be continued?
Everything's moving along.
Yep, there it is. And for me, just a couple things that I jotted down here. Want to say thank you to the crews. Been watching them do some work along our medians, SR 86. So really appreciate the hard work that goes into that. The other day I had a chance to talk to one of our fire crews, and I'm glad that it was, Fire Prevention Week, because they were out getting some food, and some people were really bothered that they were getting food, that they were parked outside getting food. One of the things that I always say is they are human. They all need to eat. Food doesn't magically show up at the station. They actually have to go get it. But when, they're called to duty, they drop what they're doing and they go do the work. Same thing with our police department. So just ask, be patient, and, thank God that they're there. So appreciate you guys for all the hard work you do. Parks, saw some work going on today at the parks the last couple days. Sunset Park, I know our crews are out there working. Glad to see that. And the different things going around the city. Cal Cities with Ida, I know that's a big appointment. That's for the next 2 years. Should be our board member and a rep for our county. So be our voice, and finally the city of Imperial takes that seat. So glad to see that. Look forward to that. One of the things that was brought to us, I don't know if you guys got to see it. We got our issue number 3 of our newsletter. That was great to see. Some of the things that, we don't, as a council member, we don't always get to see. So we really appreciate that. So good thing. And another thing that was brought to my attention is, you guys want to watch a good show. The Imperial Valley Masters Choral presents Imperial Valley, Our Story in a Song. That is Saturday, October 20th, and come see one of our own, Mr. David Dale, performing in this. So come join, watch him perform. Seen that before, so definitely a good show. So, and I think we can see Mr. Dale for that and tell us how to get there. So really appreciate that. With that, I adjourn this meeting till the next